All right, hello everyone. So today's Tuesday. Now remember, we got news on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So today is as such. Now, with gold, we don't have a swing day yet, as you know, but I did say, as per the previous setup, as well as you know, was like this. Okay. And I said it was either going to turn into an up move with a pennant or downwards. And yesterday it looked more like we're coming downwards because we had this setup. Now today we've got a new setup, and that's the first support of the day. But we had this level yesterday, remember? Right here, 2,634. Okay. Why? Because that's 75. That was it. That was the weekly. Now, if this breaks, obviously we're going to push down into 2,606 or down here somewhere. Okay. We can also do this 2,607. Let's make this there. So this could also be a target if this breaks, but it didn't. And I've already put the hours here and I've posted them in the members area. Now, obviously this is a bit too late, but if you've learned financial astrology from me, you would have taken that. Why would you have taken that? Because first of all, that's a weekly PST level, which we talked about right there. Second of all, that's an trading hour. Okay, so that's a trading hour plus the PST level. You would have been okay with that one. Now, today, I've made some comments here. So make note of them, because what we might have is a breakout as we get towards 1 o'clock and push towards 3 o'clock and so on. Right, so the market can really be pushy today. It could go like all in one direction when it starts to push. So if that happens, then all we got to do is like follow through. Okay, now because that's a weekly support, okay, so going with it is okay. And the next level is 2683, which we talked about here as well. On the daily, your resistance is 65, so that's also going to be a target at 2,660, which is there. All right, I can now get rid of this. This was from yesterday, as you know, gap. If you sold yesterday here, okay, obviously it would have depended on where you put your stop loss. If if you sold here at the trading hours once the gap was closed, because these are the trading hours, gap closed. Even if you sold here, maybe you got stopped out if your stop loss was too close. Okay, if it was not that close, you would have been okay, coming all the way back down into this trading hour, as you can see, being the low of pretty much the low of Asia, sweeping the stops and bouncing off. See, trading hour where the market bounced off, and that being a weekly pivot. Now, if the market hangs around here and you want to go long at these trading hours, you can go long from here, okay, or if it dips back down to the previous day low, which is here. All right, so going back up from this zone, I think is okay. If I just also refresh that, that'd be a good idea, since this is the sandwich zone, and this I can now get rid of. So we've got that for a target. If we break above that, we've got that for a target. At the end of the day, the overall trend is going up, as you can see. So jumping on board somewhere is okay. One little drama we said was that it might come down here and then go up. But this is a daily and a weekly. All right, so daily and a weekly together. I don't mind going up with that. That's pretty good. Okay, so if you're using your ATAM, your PST indicator, that should make sense. Euro dollar. With the euro dollar, where are we at now? Remember, we had these levels, so the market is dipped down. Looks like we still have a bit of room. Now, yesterday with the euro dollar, remember Monday was a swing day. So I did say at swing hours, trading hours, you can also buy this, okay? And if we take a look, ouch, that's 12.45. Okay, I didn't have a 12.45. And did we have this one? 10.15. 10.45 is there. This is a bit tricky. Why? I'll tell you why. This is the low, that's the high, and this is the rectangle, okay? So I did say if we're down, You could like buy the lows. If this is going to be a swing day from the lows, then it should kind of go up. So this is like where we're heading into, so I can get rid of this. Okay, we're still now in a rectangle, but this is like probably going to break out. If we come back down here, I think it's doable because this is a support level from New York. Okay, we can push up, and this is the manipulation bar. So yeah, it can come down. If it comes down to a trading hour, I think we can go long. Why? Because Monday was a swing day, so it's only logical we kind of like follow this up to close the gap. And I talked about the goodbye kiss yesterday. Okay, now we can get rid of this. So that's your impulse. So we should have a push up and then sell off again, and that sell off should bring us all the way back down into here, or even down here. Okay, so we'll keep this the way it is. If the market comes into 30, 1.0955, 1.0955, you can go long there. All right, if it comes down, dips down to go up, it's fine. It's a daily support. I talked about this line on the PST yesterday, no problem. On the weekly, we still got room to come down, but we're right on a PST there, as you can see. So going up a little bit, maybe into 54, that's 1028 is up there, is okay. But before that, you've got to be cautious. HCL1, 1.1029. So that's that zone as well. So market going up into 1.1029 is looking fine, okay, into that zone, because that's on the daily and the weekly. All right, so be mindful for that one. I'm going to get rid of that. The weekly pivot you guys are already familiar with, and this is the gap. This is why I put this on yesterday. I think that should be why. Yeah, probably around that gap there. So I'm going to get rid of this too. Okay, and that is that's the impulse. So we should have like a bit of a push up into a goodbye kiss or whatever into this zone, a 50% to a 37.5 retracement, and then I don't mind selling off again. So if you want to buy, not a bad idea. If the market comes down, going up is okay, from here is okay, and from down here definitely. Okay, if it breaks below that, obviously don't stand in front of it. Obviously we're continuing to push down. This is also a sideways market after the impulse wave, so sellers will be coming in, but this is late selling. Remember I said last week this was a swing day for us, remember? So that swing day brought us all the way down into this bar here, and then once it broke, it just kept pushing down. So going up to sell is okay. SP 500, nice and easy. Okay, Monday was a swing day for this one. That's your Monday. All right, if I can get rid of these. Those are from last week. That's your Monday. That's your beautiful Monday. Okay, and that's just great selling down. Okay, I did say if it breaks below this, you got to be mindful because it'll have room to push down. Also on the monthly now, we're kind of bringing it down a little bit. So retracement to the upside should happen if the market wants to sell 1, 2. Okay, we can get rid of these. Okay, and that's basically it. So on here, do you want to be a buyer? Because we've got Monday and Tuesday on the indices, don't we? So yesterday we had it, and on SP 500 and Nasdaq got today as well. All right, so if the market keeps pushing down, it might bring us down here. If it does bring us down here, which is logical, then we can possibly turn around from here tomorrow, because tomorrow Dow Jones has got a swing day. So I'm sorry, yeah, it has Dow Jones. So Monday, Tuesday can be pushing it down. Wednesday we could be looking for a pivot point here to kind of reverse, at least in the short term. Okay, so that's a nice push down. Yesterday, if you take a look at your hours, that's 520. We had 520, remember? 445 to 520, that's your 445, 520. So market retracing. Technical, because it's cleaning up the gap, filling the gap, and then selling off. I also had 625. If you waited for 625 as well, that would have been just there, and then the market just crashed all the way down. And I did say we've got those levels, so 1, 2 into 9.15 to closing. That's your 9.15 on the first target, and then we've got closing all the way down here, coming and making the second target. So from here as well, if we go back up here, this is also a sell zone. That's your manipulation bar there. Okay, so make use of that. Selling here or at the weekly pivot are, I think, okay to push further down on this one. Okay, because on the weekly we've got a breakdown, on the daily we've got a breakdown. That HCL1 is 5713, so keep it on your radar, which is there. All right, so a bit of a push up to sell down, I think, is okay. Let's take a look at Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and Bitcoin. Now Dow Jones, as you know, from the weekend I posted the swing days, Monday and Wednesday. All right, so this you can wait till tomorrow, but Monday is a beautiful swing day, as you can see, and that was what 10:45 is. That's your 10:45, so that's not obviously a sell spot on that time, but this 3:45 to 3:45 isn't either. Okay, it's there, it's a buy one on the weekly pivot. And then we've got 520 to 445, which is there, just like on the SP 500. Then we've got that 620 there, and then the market just crashing down. Okay, once again here as well, look, this is logical. Why? Because we've got a sell-off here with a gap closing at the trading hour, okay, and then selling off. All right, then you could also play the breakout as well. Once the market breaks out, good buy kiss is okay to sell off with a tight stop loss, can push it all the way down to the closing level. So what to do with this one? I think we can safely say that a bit more pushing down is possible, probably into, can I do that? Okay, so possibly into there. If you're using the PST indicator, just draw your lines. So, and on the weekly, let's take a look. We've got that 59 level, remember, 41606, which is there. So we still have room to sell off. If the market comes into the daily, the weekly, I think you're okay to be shooting it down again. The manipulation bar, as you can see, is there. Okay, so just mark that in. The market should go above this to take out stops. So it's either going to be here or slightly higher in between this zone to sell off. Not a bad idea to follow it into possibly there. Cover your trade at the low of yesterday if you're selling the high. If you want to buy the low, okay, because you could say, well, this is also support, sideways market. So if you want to buy the low, it's a bit tricky because I don't like to go against the PST, as you know, but if you want to do it, who can stop you? Do it with a smaller lot size, do it after a stop sweep if there's going to be one in New York, and then push it in that direction. Nasdaq, same kind of thing. Now remember, with Nasdaq we filled in the gaps last week, sold off, it's all good. I did say again, if it comes up it's sellable, and yesterday we had those levels, remember, that PST level and the first level there, and I did say it's sellable at those levels. So the market pushed back up right into that 19975. It didn't go there, but it definitely came into there and sold off. Okay, if we get back up into the weekly, selling again is logical. It'll fill in the gap. That's your manipulation bar there. So this zone is still good to sell if it matches your trading hour. On the daily, The first support is 49, 19,704. So we've got to break 19,704 if we want to get anywhere. Okay, so oops, there. So we've got to break that. So if it goes up, selling again is okay. If it breaks below, now resistance level is at 57. That's, as you can see, 19,944.60. 19,944. So this zone is sellable. All right, so if we get back up there again like they sold yesterday, selling is okay. So between the daily and the weekly and this zone at trading hours is sellable to push further down. If it breaks below, you can target the 43 on the daily, 19,520. Okay, 19,520 is there. And on the weekly, be mindful that 55 is going to be important, which is 19,635. If it comes to 19,635 and you want to buy it, 19,635 is here. I don't really blame you because it's the weekly PST level. It's doable. Okay, so if we go up first, targeting these levels are okay. Once we get to these levels, you definitely need to be careful though, so be mindful. If the weekly breaks as well, then that's actually good for us, because then we've got this impulse wave, A, B, C, closing all the gaps, selling down. We should break that, come all the way back down here into this manipulation bar, or into this here, which is giving us the levels there. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, it should. All right. Bitcoin. Now with Bitcoin as well, same kind of scenario. Let's see. This was the zone yesterday, as you can see. I marked those levels in. This is your 520 yesterday. That's your 520 bar yesterday. If you bought down here, that would have been your 345. That's your 345 bar there. Buy, sell, push down, it's all good. Also here I did say if it comes back down you can go long, and this was the zone which was pretty nice and simple because we had those PST levels, remember? So according to the PST levels there, the market kind of crashed down. This is why we're definitely using this PST model here. It just gives you clean prices, you know, nice and easy. Time, price, sell it off. Okay, now on the daily, as you can see, this is a bit of a chop motion zone. Why? Because on the weekly we're right in the zone. You see, that's the top of the channel, that's the bottom of the channel. So buying the low, selling the high, I'm okay with, but in between you have to be careful. So this is where PST comes in. Okay, so on the weekly we've got 56, 66, 255, 66, 255 is going to be a zone for you. If it does go up, 66, 255, keep an eye out for it. Okay, 66, 255, because that's going to be your sell zone. If the market keeps falling, we've got room to come down into this zone 40, which is 6188. So let's mark that as well. Let's push this into 6188 on the weekly. 44 if it pushes down. 55,883. 55. Oops. 55. All right, so we'll just there. Okay, so that can still happen. It's a bit fair down, but still that's good. And this is a zone we talked about in the beginning of the week. We can get rid of that now. That's done. Okay, so market sweep the stops, no wonder, and then pushing down. It's okay. Impulse wave. So we've got an A, B, C up. So if the market keeps pushing down, it's only logical. I'll get rid of this as well. Okay, and that's basically it. Okay, yeah, that's basically it. So if you want to sell, you can on the highs, like on the daily pivot as well. Manipulation bar here, there's a gap here, mind the gap. Okay, so if the market dips up into the gap, again, trading hours okay. Selling from above here is also okay, and like I said, that's your weekly zone. If the market keeps pushing up, don't stand in front of it. At least do not stand in front of anything at least until 720. Okay, if it keeps pushing up and up and up, okay, because it might be that kind of a day today. All right, and I did say, no, I said that about Thursday. Okay, so that's fair enough. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let's move forward.